Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Today I want to talk about state of Splinterlands, the prices that are collapsing within the card market, the rank grind experience, where I'm at, how I'm enjoying it. I'm looking at some card data. This is just a bit of a check-in with the game and where I'm at. Because I think if you look at the data, SPS was 4 cents, now it's 2. Card prices are literally the lowest they've been in years. You might be inclined to believe that the sky is falling. And I just look around and I say, that's not what I'm seeing. So I'd like to share some of my view on sort of a wide range of topics about Splinterlands and do a bit of a check-in as to how I'm doing and what I'm thinking. If that sounds interesting, stick around, stay tuned, like and subscribe. And I want to just say thank you for the members who are supporting the channel. I sincerely appreciate you guys. And we're going to plan another members live for Thursday this week. But I think the first thing I want to show to you is 2 quick things that haven't escaped you. I mean, you know that SPS is currently just over 2 cents. And it's nice to see it's pumping this morning because Bitcoin is kind of having some fun, and often the altcoins will follow. But if you just look at this red on this side here, 30 days we're down, 7 days we're down, 90 days we're down, year we're down, and particularly as you should compare it to the Bitcoin too, 71% down across a year compared to Bitcoin. And so one of the points that I really think is pertinent as we look at this is some of our sentiment and feelings that are going to come out of the fact that SPS is at 2.1 cents, not 4 cents like it was very recently. I actually believe that it's more important mentally that it's down against Bitcoin than it is that it's down against US dollar. And what I mean is when people look at the charts and they go, it's down and that sucks. No historical data. That's there it is. When people say, it's down versus USD and I used to have more money, I get it. And that is a level of frustration even for me, right? I prefer a 4 cent SPS than 2% SPS. But I do think there's something mentally that's happening to our community as well as every altcoin holder, not just SPS, but every altcoin holder, when we go down compared to Bitcoin, or when you look around and you see other green candles within the space that are bigger. And it's jealousy capitulation. It's this idea where, there's lots of factors that drive us to say, it's over, I'm quitting, I'm done. One of them is definitely this idea of jealousy capitulation. It's not my idea, but I love it. And I think it makes a lot of sense. When we look at 8% up on Bitcoin today, or ETH is 8.5% up, and, there's other 8% candles in here too. And these are just the 11 that I track. But if we open it up, we see 11% on Solana, 12% on 10%. Like there's some double digiters here. And it's easy to say everything else is pumping. I picked the wrong one and I want to move. And I think that's a piece of the sentiment that we're fighting against in a moment like this. And that feeds into some of the salt that I've noticed in comments or in Discord. And I'm not saying that I have an answer to fix it, but I just want to point that out because I think it should speak into the rest of the video as we look at card prices and where they've gone, or we look at the state of rank, etc. I do believe this sentiment shift is a product of jealousy capitulation as we look at other coins and they're doing so well. That actually makes it harder to carry bags that are not pumping, even if they're doing, relatively okay. I mean, if we look at the fact that, for instance, you're getting how much SPS you're getting per battle, or if you look at, the SPS was 1.3 cents. I want to say a few months ago, we could check the chart, but not too long ago. And now 2 cents, we hate it. We wish it was higher, but 2 cents is better than 1.3. And so there's some reasons to be optimistic, and yet there's perhaps bigger reasons or more pressing reasons that leave us to be maybe pessimistic in a moment like this. So that's SPS, and certainly that's an impediment to some of our excitement within it. But then I think also you compound that issue because card prices have really been falling. And as I open up peak monsters, well, actually I'm gonna open up X first because I've tracked my own data, and this is my chart for follow me at time and attention on X, and you'll see me post not necessarily every single day, but I'm pretty regular, and it's almost always Splinterlands content, if not broader crypto stuff. But today I did post showing this is as far back as my data tracking goes, and this is specific to my collection of cards. But in May of 2023, I started tracking, and you can see my prices leading up to $50,000, and you can see this decline. I mean, you could break it down if you want to take a screenshot and check it out later. You can go deep into this, but if I look at May, we're at 50,000, and then later that same month, we're 10% down into the 40s or high 30s, and then if we scroll a little just over to September, so May to September of 2023, I'm down to $35,000 from 350. And then we get way lower in October. And we stayed, that was kind of the floor, October, November of 2023. We started ticking up, and doing quite well. At times in here, I actually had closer to 40, but I just didn't track on those days. I didn't record that data. And then as we look to March 25th today, which is the day of recording, back down to $25,000. And there's some interesting complicating factors that I don't necessarily want to deep dive on. I sold some cards, I bought some cards. I got airdrops along the way. Some of the rebellion, whether it was, so that there's some confounding variables that I can't fully unpack for you. But suffice it to say, the price of my deck in May was double what it is today. And this is the lowest point it's been since 2023. And I would say even before that, it was years since prior to the last sort of bull market where everyone was coming into Splinterlands and everything was going so great and 15-cent cards were $15 and SPS was selling 10, 20, 30 cents. All of that moment, it's been years now. And so these cards have never been lower in months at least, or years if you go beyond September, October of last year. And I think that again speaks into a bit of the sentiment that we're dealing with. Because as I move now toward where I'm at, those are some of the facts. I mean, SPS is down. Yes, it's up from its low, but still it's substantially down from where it recently was. That hurts. Card prices are really taking a beating. That hurts. The ranking experience, problematic for a lot of people. But, today also on X, I was able to successfully post that it took me 25 days to climb from silver to diamond and modern. They don't call it rank grind for nothing. And that's, when I do videos on the rank experience, I usually call them rank grind video and it is a grind to get in there and you win one, you lose one, you win one, you lose one. And sometimes you've played the game, it can be so frustrating to lose some of these, especially when it's like a simple RNG situation, or when you keep coming up against Grimbard and Smith and you end up taking the L. This is a team I've been seeing repeatedly, and today I went 1-1 against it. This is more, I'm seeing it in Diamond. I didn't see it so much in Gold, but today in Diamond I fought it twice. And one time I took it and one time I lost to it. And this is neutrals only, and Grimbard just went pretty much now. I'm thinking whenever I see neutrals only, it's going to be a Grimbard Dr. Blight matchup. And so I tried something thinking that dodge would be helpful, but he goes magic with the trainer over here, and it's too much for me. And I end up losing. But it's frustrating, as you well know, to keep enduring this card that I don't have, and I'm not going to buy for multiple dollars. But even as we look at that, as I look at the broad rank experience and how it can be frustrating, one, I'm saying to you that I climbed from silver to diamond in 2 seasons. And a lot of people are saying, I can't get where I want. I don't want to play where I am. My rewards are not substantial enough, etc. But I just quietly have been climbing. And now I'm not even where I'm going to finish. I feel confident. I've been cruising in diamond this morning. I won most of my battles. I'll show you in a moment. So I'm saying, I believe people are starting to reach the places they ought to be. And at least that's my story. And I don't have a exceptional deck. There are key cards that I don't have, like Grimbard and Smith. I don't have a Moxiel Rebel at level max where you get that second damage. Key cards I don't have that I'm facing off against, and yet I'm winning. Now I lost this battle because I'm still learning the modern meta, but I'm saying people are beginning to reach the places that they ought to be, and I think they're starting to bear fruit, or you're starting to see the reality of the or at least the possibility that the rewards might be more satisfying than you currently were experiencing. Add to that the expectation of change as we remove SPS from reward chests, which is happening on April 2nd. There are going to be no more SPS in reward chests, meaning that you'll see a significant increase in the SPS payouts per rank battle. I actually think in Modern it could be something like double your SPS. And now in that battle, in these recent battles that I've won, this is I'll just skip the battle, but you can see I got 6.1 SPS for that battle. We're halfway through the season, and I've got a pretty decent bag of SPS. I'm pretty convinced that you're going to be able to see 10, 12 SPS per win in Diamond next season. And I'm only in D3. I believe I can make it to D2, D1, maybe even low champ. We'll see, and we've got half a season to grind still, but I know I've not reached the ceiling. I know it. If I scroll down and show you my greens, like there's one loss I just featured where that Grimbard Smith took me out. with the magic flow. But look at all those greens. That's a 2, 4, 6. Man, let's get it exactly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a 9-game win streak. And that led me out of gold into diamond. And, look at my opponents, 2,800, 2,500, 3,000, 2,700, pretty relatively within my range, right? It's not like I'm facing massive beasts that are, 600 RP ahead of me. So I'm saying my competitors seem to be matching me relatively reasonably. I'm consistently winning because I have a deck to do so. It's taken a few weeks now, 3.5 weeks, but I'm getting to a place where I actually, one, enjoy the game, know the game, because I know the max level game experience more than anywhere else. And now that I'm here, I'm actually starting to feel like you got some wind behind the sails and we're making the progress and we're reaching to places we want. Plus 6 SPS per win, more than I've ever received in the game. I was never playing Modern prior to these big changes with rank, and I just felt Modern I needed to go there, knowing that some people would be frustrated, some people would leave, there'd be a bigger piece of the pie available to people like me who want to put in that effort. And so I am absolutely enjoying it, and I think we might be looking at doubling the SPS returns from the rank rewards when that change happens. And as I look around and see frustration and disappointment and comments on like I'm leaving or I might leave or I'm not buying more cards anymore, or these types of pessimism, and as I look at my own card collection dropping and SPS price dropping, I just say it's like the perfect storm for me to position myself well within Modern to extract the most possible SPS. I know that SPS is cheap and I could theoretically buy a bag. I saw the Aftersound did that recently. Great, good for him. One thing I noticed though, when we talk about that sort of acquisition and we say that's gonna offset any sort of SPS losses I might endure by playing in Wild, you're not acknowledging the fact that it's one thing to buy 6,000 SPS for a really good price, I might add at 2 cents in my mind. Not financial advice, but in my mind. But then it's another thing to then actually continue, even on top of that, continue playing in Modern and earn what is probably triple the SPS. Because like I said, in Diamond, I'm winning about 6 SPS in Modern. In Wild, I am playing. Whenever I can't play, I let the bot play. Yesterday, I got about 16 games in Wild last night. And look, we're in Champion in Wild. What are we getting in Champ when we get a W? Not 6 SPS. 1.1 SPS. That's a huge difference. And I don't know if it's because a lot of accounts are moving from Modern into Wild because they're frustrated with what's happening. I've definitely heard that. I've heard different people say that, but that's just anecdotal. I don't know if like the data behind it can be supported to draw that conclusion. But my interpretation is that some amount of players from Modern are just frustrated with where they're at, and they want some of people like me who have that sort of maybe Diamond or Champion level deck to get out of their way in Gold so that they can thrive. And I think we're going to get there, 1. But 2, failing to sort of endure that fight in the meantime is costing probably those participants, I'm saying 100, maybe 150 SPS a day. Because you can get 5 SPS per win in Gold, at high Gold anyways. And if you're not fighting that fight, you're not getting 20 matches, maybe you're probably not getting 20 wins. Maybe it's 50 to 75 SPS a day. Still, man, I think we all know we should want that, but it's frustrating. It's disappointing. I'm hitting my head against a wall when I run into these Diamond decks, these Champion decks. I think the data shows, at least my anecdotal experience shows, that that's starting to clear up, where my opponents are relatively similar, and I am personally getting to a place where I'm no longer going to be in the Gold way, in the way of those players who want to thrive in that league. And I think that's one example that's probably emblematic of other people's experience. There's other people with max decks or, quite substantial decks that were trapped in Gold or trapped in Silver, and now they're clawing and scratching their way out. And it's a small door that you have to climb through because you're slamming into each other. And then I get a loss because I'm facing off against one of those giants as well. And all these really big decks can't climb because it's like the ladder's only so wide, let's put it that way, or the doorway into higher leagues is only so wide. So suffice it to say, I'm enjoying the process. I am absolutely utilizing Wild and bots to sort of carry some of the burden, because I can't do it all. I can't play 24 matches a day and create content and follow other games and live my life. But I'm enjoying the process, and I'm not discouraged by the price points of what things are at, whether it's card collections that's dropping in price, or the attention and maybe the participation in modern, or even SPS prices being at 2 cents when they were at 4 cents. Because again, they were also at 1.3 cents. And so there's always a silver lining. And this is not to say to you that, you know, your story should follow mine and you should just walk in sort of a degree of confidence. But I guess it's just a check-in around what I'm seeing, which is there are some difficulties, there are some challenges, there are some discouragements, both on the financial side as well as the gaming experience. It seems to me that the gaming experience is leveling out and people seem to be arriving where they ought to be. And then from the financial side, I'm not concerned in the least. Because although prices are low, I see it as an opportunity. And I'm looking for different sort of nooks and crannies and maybe niches to explore within that. And I don't have a ton of money, but I'm still continuing to play Golem Overlord, and I'm earning, you know, a few bucks a week. And I am cashing out some of it into Hive and then putting it into DC and then putting it to work. And, you know, for those who are doing Splinterforge, you're getting the same opportunity. And it's just like these little faucets for cryptocurrency that might be leveraged into something within Splinterlands. And as the prices remain low, you have to just ask the question that I often pose to you guys, which is that, do you believe in Splinterlands for the long term? Do you find it fun? And do you think it'll be here over the long term? Because if it's fun, if it's rewarding, and it will be here, then that's a sort of foundation that I think we can believe in and we can build on. For our own sort of, it's almost your own business, right? You build a deck of cards, it produces a revenue within the game. You acquire land, they produce a certain cryptocurrency faucet, essentially. You can come back to daily and claim your rewards. And so I'm looking, as I always do and have for years, at this moment and saying, what are people overlooking greatly? And as I look at my own card collection data, it strikes me that there definitely are some things that are being overlooked. I'm astonished that the alphas are down. My alpha collection is down to 1140. And at the peak, we had a $3,000 alpha collection. To my knowledge, I didn't sell any of my alphas, which means that they're running about 33% of the price point that they once were. And so maybe there's some alpha cards out there that are particularly inexpensive. And I'm not saying that these would be regular playables anymore because I'm not focusing on wild, but man, when I look at land or when I look at long-term investment opportunities and I go, wow, Alpha Lightning Dragon, which is a strong card. And I think I already own this card, to be honest. But man, you know, the power of a card with blast, piercing, stun, and flying, it's not like I'm going to spend $400 on a card like this today, but it gets me thinking. And when that's just a piece of data that then you go come in here probing, and that maybe those are too big, too expensive. But what about some of these epics? This is an amazing card. There are tournaments where I like to have the Fire Demon, and here we got one for $139. That seems pretty reasonable to me. I used to buy and sell and trade this thing when it was, you know, 5 cents, 10 cents, and I was trading it while it was pumping because this was what card I used to flip a lot. And I can say that this price has been far higher, and yes, far lower. But I just go, this is a card I could actually see myself owning and maybe utilizing on some of my lots of land. And yes, I'm perhaps more interested in the modern experience. And so maybe that leads me to some of these rewards or, you know, Chaos or Rift Watchers or Rebellion. But again, it isn't always about what is the cheapest card. It isn't even always about the card that I want the most. It's sometimes about the fullness of the picture of 1, its usefulness, 2, its scarcity, 3, my desire for it, 4, my, you know, is the price point something that I could make profit on, short term, medium term, long term. And you can think those things through for your own self. But as I look at data, I think alphas are particularly low. I know pretty significant prices on some of the reward card drops, as well as Untamed. I've noticed some of the summoners on Untamed, including Kitty, including Yoda, have gotten really affordable. Look at this, the dice cards are down quite substantially, especially from their highs back in November of last year or beyond. And then, yeah, I mean, Rebellion have held pretty strong, at least over the short sample of life that I've been able to track, and that's going to probably persist because of limited pack sales, plus also the utility within the airdrops or the Mage Dragon system. But there seem to be opportunities in some of these places, particularly if you enjoy Wild. And like I said, within my experience, I'm enjoying Wild daily. And so absolutely equipping my deck with some really talented, powerful Wild cards will allow me to earn some chests, some rewards, some SPS for time that I can't otherwise spend. I can't myself play. And then when I want to and I'm able to, I can really collect the maximum amount of SPS over here in Modern. For me, that's my plan. I'm enjoying the process as I have for years. I think for me, the overriding thought is I do believe in the future of it. I do believe that it's fun. I do like the vision that the team is casting, and I do have a degree of confidence in their capacity or their ability to reach that end. And so that foundation of it's fun and rewarding, and I believe in their vision for the future is this firm foundation that I'm happy to sort of build on. And out of that place, I'm just, again, always looking at ways I can get more out of what I'm doing, whether it's playing Modern as much as I can, but running a bot in Wild when I can't, and then looking at the card marketplace or even the token marketplace and trying to acquire either vouchers or DEC or SPS as I see prices pull back. And when people sort of express a particular frustration or disappointment, or when I see views ticking down or subs ticking down, or when I see animosity in X or Discord, I just think to myself, that's sentiment question. And is the overriding issue that Splinterlands is truly falling apart, or is the overriding issue that sentiment is falling apart? And that's why, again, one last thing, I come back to X in my post here today. I said, with respect to card prices in Splinterlands are the lowest they have been in years. Opportunity or the end? And you have an opinion on that. If you touch this game, you have an opinion on that. And I'm saying we need to formulate our opinion based on a multitude of variables, which I have for myself. You need to do the same. And then you need to act accordingly. Either it is an opportunity or it represents an end, maybe for you, maybe for the game. And obviously to me, I see positivity, optimism. I look forward to, in the coming days and weeks, probably something pretty interesting as I look to altcoins having more energy than Bitcoin across the, let's say, medium term. I don't really buy that we're going to see a Bitcoin run rolling right through 2024 into 2025, which is what I hear people saying. I believe we're probably closer to the end of this than we are to the beginning. And that would mean, or ought to mean, at least historically probably has pointed toward, more of an altcoin run. And these 10% candles are great on things like Solana, but I'm saying 5%, 10%, that's not what people come to altcoins, is it? That's not why we come to altcoins. If you've been in crypto long enough, you know 50%, 100% candles are absolutely possible within certain tokens at certain times. Not telling you where I think those things are going to happen or even with which coins, but you know, that's what I've seen in the past. And that's the sort of energy and excitement that I would expect will actually come to Splinterlands. Because again, foundationally, I believe that the game is fun and rewarding and has a vision and an opportunity to meet that vision. And that package gives me that confidence, whereas the basis which I can walk in that confidence. So anyways, I want to leave it there. But yeah, I guess the question is left with you. And I wonder from the comment section, what do you think if you're watching up until this point? You know, do you see SPS dropping from 4 cents to 2 cents and cards being cut in half since last September, October, you know, the lowest they've been in years? Do you see these things as an opportunity, or is this an end? Whether that end be for you individually or whether it be for the game broadly. I'm certain some people are going to say that. Is that your opinion? And if so, why? Because truly, these are not, you don't need to guess at these things. These are things you can think through. There's objective facts and truths that you can, you know, there's data you can analyze to come to a firm foundation that you can act on. And we absolutely ought to in moments like this. I've done that, and I encourage you to do it too. So thank you so much for your time and attention. I hope you have an amazing day. God bless.